Welcome to episode 8 of the Hardcore Minecraft series. This is day 400 to 450. My name is Gronzu. In this episode, I will be getting a whole mess of beacons and starting an ocean monument project. To start out, I got a bunch of stuff to make iron golems. Don't necessarily need their help with the wither, but it can make it go much quicker. I also got a bunch of potions and a few other things I would need.
Why?
With the gunpowder farm, for whatever reason, the collection system was not working. I got up top to make sure that the mobs were dying where the cart was running, and I'm gonna have to fix that, but don't understand why it's not working. I healed up my tools and got some obsidian to make a portal, and then I flew about 2,000 blocks on the nether roof and decided to get out there to make this wither killing area. I did want to try something crazy by spawning multiple withers. I wasn't sure how many, but my initial goal was to just spawn a ton of iron golems and a ton of withers. So I wanted to do that very far away from the base in case something went wrong and I had to run away. I also wanted to build a mega beacon to get all the effects to see how much easier fighting the wither was with stuff like strength, jump boost, resistance, that kind of stuff. Once the beacon was done, I went back to the killing chamber and spawned a ton of iron golems. I think it was like 12 or 15 of them. And I gave them all strength pots, and it was time to spawn in the withers. While trying to get that last wither to spawn, the explosion from the first two took me down quite a bit on health and killed every single iron golem.
What is that?
With the beacon effects, especially jump boost, which kind of allows you to melee them pretty much all the time, this was becoming increasingly easier, and I was getting more and more confident with each fight. I was mostly just fighting 2 at a time, but I think with the beacon, 3, 4, 5 would be super easy to all spawn at once, maybe even more. With the regen, the resistance, and the full netherite prot 4 armor, you can just stand there and eat punches from these guys. It's pretty awesome.
Wow!
Sometimes I just really don't understand spawning the withers in, because as you can see in that last shot, I had 3 skulls and the correct soul sand formation, but just once in a while it wasn't working out. And when these guys do their explosion spawning in, it destroys the wither skulls and soul sand if there's any that are unspawned. And 3 withers at once. When I started this series, I never imagined I'd be so OP that I could do that. And after 3 withers, I almost died to this lava source because I wasn't paying attention to my health. I crafted a conduit and 10 more beacons before getting started on the Ocean Monument project.
Why? Why?
There were several things I wanted to get before starting the Ocean Monument project, and I got to work on those.
What?
I accidentally hit the egg, and I have no idea where it went. I looked all around the base. Apart from looking for the egg, I did want an efficiency 5 hoe as well as some depth strider boots, and I also wanted loyalty on the trident, so I just kept grinding away to get all those things.
Bruh.
Depth strider took absolutely forever to get. I would have been better off making a new librarian, but I just kept going and going until I had what I needed. I had to get XP from the gold farm to do all this enchanting, and while I was up there, I put in a regen and strength beacon just to make sure that I could AFK there longer, and the pigmen are pretty strong even with Smite 5, so this would just ensure that they died 1 hit every time.
I love gold.
I had run out of lapis, so I took to the oceans to get more, and in my opinion, this is the best way to get lapis.
What is that?
I finally got Depth Strider, except it had fire protection on it, and that wasn't a pain in the ass. That didn't piss me off. And then I got that achievement for the Oxalotl helping you in combat. Funny thing is, he wasn't my friend at the time, so don't know how that happened. And with all of that preparation, it was finally time to go take on this Ocean Monument. I did put in a haste and strength beacon to make it a little easier and got to work.
that?
I took out the first Elder Guardian and then I remembered I had a conduit. Unfortunately, I built it wrong the first go around, but once I got it going, it was pretty awesome to be able to breathe underwater the entire time. Made it a lot easier to clear the monument. I will say that without impaling 4, the trident sucks as a weapon. You're better off just getting close and using a sword if possible. And that was it with the third Elder Guardian killed. I grabbed some sea lanterns to spice up the mansion and then started preparing for draining the monument. On day 416, I got to work on a super secret special project that had absolutely nothing to do with anything productive. It was just for fun. It was expanding on the base, but for this project I needed tons of green dye, so I went and grabbed some cacti. This is also my humble homage to the original 100 Days creator, Luke the Notable. If by any chance he were ever to see this, this is for you, buddy. Nearing 420 and things were becoming quite festive.
Don't do drugs. If you're doing it, stop it. Get some help.
On day 421, after collecting myself yet again, I decided to start the draining of the ocean monument. Now for this, everybody does a circle. Everybody does a circle. I decided to do this very cool glass staircase from the ocean floor up to the surface that would go around the monument in a rectangle. For the perimeter around the monument to begin with, I would be doing a big square so I could just get that uncovered and then worry about the staircase later. With that plan in mind, I started grinding, and this project took about another 80 Minecraft days. Now, unfortunately for me, I was going to have to collect all of the sand for this by hand. Some folks might have a bartering farm with a ton of gravel. I don't have that luxury yet, so it was time to grind some sand.
No, God!
This was my first close call where I had to pop a gapple, but especially wearing an elytra, don't take the Guardians too lightly. As you'll see later on in the series, they almost got me. I think I also forgot to mention just how close this monument was to my base. Like, I will be able to come to this thing all the time. You can see the gunpowder farm off in the distance. I also cannot stress enough how infuriating the Guardians are while you're doing this. This kind of project would go 3 times as fast if you didn't have to constantly stop and deal with them. On day 430, I was finally getting close to completing the first initial perimeter, and it felt great. On day 432, I finally finished the initial perimeter, and I could start actually draining this thing. Setting up these little 4-block wide sections was probably the hardest part of the entire project, only because the Guardians make it so difficult. I was taking so much damage from the Guardians that I was having to go back to the gold farm to fix both my tools and my armor pretty frequently. Whenever I really needed a break from placing sand, I went off to find lapis so I could use the blue dye from it to make more glass. There might be a better way to get blue dye. I think this is the most efficient when you're in a hurry. I really wanted to finish as much of these stairs as possible, so for everybody, including myself, I could see kind of what the final product would look like. And the farther I got on that and the more I drained it out, the cooler this project became. Also found a trident boy. Unfortunately, even with looting 3, he did not drop a trident for me. On day 437, you could really start to see that outer staircase border take shape, and it was super, super cool looking. Between the Phantoms and the Guardians, though, working on this at night was just a nightmare. I didn't really sleep much at all during this process, but every so often I just couldn't deal with the Phantoms anymore. I got that nether portal ready so I could dry the sponge out faster. For anybody who doesn't know, if you put it in the nether, just place it, it dries out immediately. and I was finally able to start draining, which is a nightmare. I only had 28 sponges, and that was making this take a very long time, constantly going back and forth to dry these things out. The more sponges you have, the longer this part takes, but it's definitely worth it to stock up on some sponges beforehand. Now this was finishing just the very first section, and with 28 sponges that took probably 10 trips, if not more. But it was great to finally have at least part of this thing done. Now, when you do one of these projects, you'll learn a lot about water and the mechanics of the game. For me, it's a lot quicker to swim underwater and try to place the sand like that, and while you're holding space or going up, just hold down that place button, and that's going to allow you to place the sand 3 or 4 times faster than just standing at the top and letting all of it fall. So when I could, I adopted that strategy. Now, my life for 10 to 20 hours was just placing glass, placing sand, and drying everything up with the sponges. I'm thinking it looks incredible, but this is basically all I did for the majority of these 50 days. If I could, I probably would have done it this way first, just doing the outer boundary, but I started to realize if I wanted to finish this anytime soon, I had to get to work on clearing out the temple itself. So I focused mainly on that until day 500. I was very determined to finish this project, so I worked on nothing else for quite a long time. Basically from day 421 to about day 500, I did nothing but work on this. As much as I wanted to get the temple uncovered, every time I was clearing a section of this glass staircase part, it was looking cooler and cooler and getting me even more motivated to finish. I really can't wait till this thing goes all the way around and is completely dry. This episode is definitely a lot like the episode where I was spawn proofing for the gold farm, though. There's only so much commentary really to give. Not anything that interesting or out of the ordinary happened. It was almost exclusively all of this. That being said, I did get a ton done in this episode. If you've ever attempted to do this or plan on doing it, you'll kind of know that it's a massive project. I had no idea how big it would be, and this kind of more unique outer border is definitely creating a lot more work, as clearing the square is a lot more work than clearing a circle, but I'm very happy that I decided to do it this way. As I reach day 450, that would be the end of this episode. Please like and subscribe to the channel to follow along. This project will be done either next episode or the following one. My name is Gronzu. Appreciate you watching. Quick shout out to Flash Mountain Flood for help with some of the music, and I will see you in the next one.